Hi everybody, welcome to my floss tube. Today is July 2nd, 2023, and my name is Doreen, and my channel is Privies and Prim's Needlecrafts. So it is mostly about punch needle and cross stitch, and lately I have been focusing a lot on cross stitch and just a little bit of punch needle. But if you're interested in the punch needle, there are probably 2 years worth of videos with tutorials and everything if you go back and look at my other videos. So welcome to the new people. I'm glad you're here, and welcome to those returning. I'm really glad that you come back each week and watch my videos. So today may be a little longer than usual because my videos I know are usually really short, but I have a lot to talk about today. So I'm gonna get right into it and tell you what I've been doing. So for one thing, for my retreat, I am doing a camping and stitching retreat in Waynesville, North Carolina. It is like 5 miles from Maggie Valley, if you've heard of that. And there are, if you're not a camper, there are lodging options there. There's cabins and cabin rentals, park models, little apartments. And then right down the road of Maggie Valley, there's plenty of motels if you didn't want to stay at the campground. It is only $10 per person, and I will put the link down below in the description box. And it's got all the details. And there's also a video talking about it, and I'll put that link there also. The $10 a person is to secure your spot. And this is a laid back retreat. There are no designers, no pattern kits, things like that. It's just a bunch of us getting together and stitching and having fun. So, and then at night, weather permitting, we will have a campfire. So all the details are in that on the event page on my Facebook, and then also on the video if you don't have Facebook. So for that, I have been trying to make some little thread blings, and I need some help. I have reached out to one person, and she did give me some help, but here's what happened. So I printed them out like this, just on regular printer paper. And then I got a hole punch, which this is wonderful. It opens up because if you slide it in like this, actually I have to trim that off to be able to do it because it doesn't go in that far. But you can see in that hole right there, I can see exactly where I'm cutting. And that's why I bought this one. That's actually the bottom, and this is the top. You don't see it through the top, but you do see it. You see, I have some cut here, and I'll show you. So I can go right there. I'm not going to try to do it because I'm moving around, and then I can just, well, let me see. I can get this lined up. There, and then press on it, and there, it cut it out. Just so easy. I will put the link to this also in the comments. I got it from Amazon, and I am an Amazon affiliate, so I will get just a couple pennies if you buy something from there, but it doesn't cost you anymore. I don't know where that one went. But here's my problem. So I got these metal things called the bevels. This is the tray, and I put the design in it, the paper. Well, I put a little glue first on the bevel, and then, and I did use a Gorilla Glue that someone suggested on a tutorial with a little brush on it. And then I put the paper in there. That worked fine. When it was time to put the glass dome, which is called a cabochon, you can see what happened. Let me see. It ruined it. And by the way, I'm on my new phone. You can see it's a lot more in focus than the other one was. And so it ruined it, and I can't get the glass off now because it's glued. So what I did was I put glue on the paper and then put the glass on top. That's what happened. Yesterday, I tried putting glue on the glass and not on the paper, and then stuck it on there. And it's better, but it's still not good. So what do you do? Because I watched a YouTube video and I saw people do this. They didn't have this problem. But she was using more like a cardstock stuff, like that you already buy, like already printed, and it wasn't printed on her printer. So that maybe that's what the problem is. I'm using an inkjet printer. I'm definitely not going to go buy another printer. But then, so the girl that helped me online told me to get these. These are resin dome stickers, and this one has it on there. So if you look at the difference, you can see. Let me get in a place where you can see them. Yes, you see the dome on this one is much higher. So this is the glass, this is the sticker, and it feels like rubber, but you don't need any glue. You just stick it on there. Let me see if I block me out. Maybe it'll focus better. But anyway, so you get the gist of that. This one's a little messed up over here on the side. So before I go and do these and waste all these trays, I need help. Somebody tell me what to do here so that I can get these made, because I want to do like little giveaways to the people that come to the retreat. And then I bought these rings to put them on. And these are from Dollar Tree. So if you're looking for these things, this for your flosses or whatever, 8 pieces for $1.25. And they open very easily. They're not real hard to open. So they are 1.5 inch and 3.81 centimeters if you're doing metric. Definitely a good deal. So then I also bought these little bottle caps, smashed up bottle caps. And this one came out really good. This has the resin sticker in it. And this is going to be a needle minder. So I got some of these. There's one stuck to the back because it's magnetic. Oops. So these are something, is it natural earth magnets or something earth? So they're really strong. And I got those for the back of the needle minders. So these two, I'm making a mess here. These two actually came out pretty good. I don't know how good they're going to focus. These cameras tend to focus on the person and not on anything else in the picture that well. But so that's today's dilemma. Just found the paper one that I cut. So I need some help with that. These are these little resin dome stickers. They're 1 inch, and I'll show you. I got them on Amazon. There's the information. They were very reasonably priced. So I have 100 of these that I may just use the stickers, but I also have 100 of the glass domes, and I don't want to use them anymore because using the glue is messing up my paper. So if you have done this and you're experiencing that, please let me know. What am I doing wrong? What do I need to do so that I can use those glass domes? Otherwise, they just go in the drawer and I just use the stickers. The stickers kind of feel like rubber. They're not glass at all. It says they're resin. And another thing, put that down. Another thing I got for the giveaway, and I got 100 of these. I know I'm not going to have 100 attendees. Right now we have a small group that is registered. Maybe 10 people will be there. There are a couple husbands coming, and they can do their own thing, go fishing, go to the car museum, or there's a motorcycle museum, I'm sorry. Whatever they want to do, or they can come in the room with us because it's a very large room. So I'm opening it to 50 people, but this was a deal for 100 stickers, so I just went ahead and got 100. But I'm not going to open it because it's just kind of like a vacuum, well, not a vacuum seal, but it's not something I can reclose. But there's the stickers that I got. And Robin, my friend Robin from Bird and Hand Primitive, she is the one that did that design for me. So they're super cute. So thank you, Robin. So I have 100 of those. Maybe, I think after the retreat, I can figure out a way to cut around it and cut the 2023 off the bottom. And then, because I do plan to have another one in the spring, And then we could use them for that one, if I can do it without it looking obvious and chopped up. That's a thought. Okay, so that is my retreat stuff. Do definitely check that out if you want to come. And we will have a small swap. We will have a freebie table, and we will have fun. So hope that you can come. It is open to punch needle embroidery with floss also, not just cross stitch. If you want to come and you want to do punch needle or you want to do wool applique, get in touch with me and we'll get to that registration form. So the last video I talked about the swap gift and which one I'll put. She was supposed to choose between the star and the crow, and I'll put pictures in here of the two items. So she chose the star. She chose the crow, and she already has it, so I can talk about it now. And so because I was keeping the star, I wanted it to be a little bit more primitive, so I coffee stained it. And what I did is just put it upside down in the coffee and then got it all wet and then just squeezed it out and set it on my windowsill to dry. Well, it came out a little darker than I want, so I'm probably going to, I don't mind the color here. That's what I wanted, but I didn't want these dark lines. So I'm probably going to rinse it because it's just coffee. A lot of it will rinse out. I'm probably going to rinse that. But that is how it turned out with the coffee stain. And then the back is also darker, which red never shows up good on camera. So you can't, it's a really dark barn red. And I can see right here that my hot glue needs to be repaired. So I need to put a little bit more hot glue on there. And it may have been because I was putting it in the water, or maybe the bead was too thin and I didn't line it up right. But that's an easy fix. So that's the thing for the swap. So the next thing today, I was working on dyeing some fabric, and I have, let me see the dye. Thought I brought it in here. Oh, here it is. So this is the dye that I was using, and I got it at Hobby Lobby. You can see it was on clearance for 99 cents, and it was taupe. I would like a light brown. The color I see a lot because I don't go to the stores and buy linen from like across the store. I just can't afford that. And the color I see a lot that I like, that people are holding up and talking about, is the vintage country mocha, I think it's called. And I like that brownish kind of antique-y look, like these dresses back here. That's what I like. But this was on clearance, and it was the only color, so I thought I'd give it a try. So I've done it before. This time I added a little more in, so that it would be a little darker than what I got before. And I don't know how good this is going to show up, but one piece I left in a lot longer than the other, but you can see they're almost the same. But this was white. This was Swigart. It was gifted to me, and it's Swigart 32 count linen, and the wrinkles, I have ironed it, and it's still hard to get it out because when it's wet and then you squeeze it, you never get all those wrinkles out. But it's okay because it's prim. So, but you can see they're just about the same shade, and I left one in a lot longer, and I even added a little bit of coffee to make it more brown rather than the taupe. But so much better because it was very, very, it was just pure white. So then I took another piece, and this is, I'm just playing. I don't measure out, so don't ask me how much I put in because I couldn't tell you. I just dumped it in there. I don't follow the directions. This is prairie cloth that somebody gave me. Now, the other piece she gave me is walnut stained, and I absolutely love that. This one is, it's kind of a yellowish brown, and I don't really care for that. I like more of a tan brown. So I also put a piece of this in the dye, and this is not ironed because I just picked it up from outside. It's laying on some river rock to dry in the sun. So it got darker, definitely. You can see the difference. It's got that coffee stain look, but it still has the yellow tint to it. So I'm going to have to try the Rit dye or something, which I don't have any, but try the dark brown and put a little bit in and just see how that comes out, because I don't really want the yellow look. I'm not real fond of yellow, but so that's what I was doing today, just playing around. And there's another piece of this still outside in the sun. The other thing I did today was a finish, an FFO. I have an FFO. So here is the pattern. This is Lori Brecklin, Not Forgotten Farm. I did a lot of color changes on this. The flag, as you can see, it's kind of orangey, and I wanted it to be red, white, and blue. So, and the hat. So there's two flags here, here, and then the hat. So I did change the colors on those, and I think I wrote them all down, but I was kind of changing my change as I was going along. But if you're interested, I can try to help you to know what I did. And here is my finish. And I'm super happy with that. Let me hold it back. And this is an easel from Dollar Tree. It actually was only $1.25. What I did is took some burnt umber paint and watered it down, and then I brushed the whole thing with it and then wiped it off. And so that gave it kind of an antique-y look. But there's a close-up. That is on Coffee Stained Osnaburg, stitched 1/2. And then the stars I glued on with E6000. And this is a piece of wool from Recycle Clothing. I glued that on with Aleene's Tacky Glue, and I did a blanket stitch around it with some Valdani floss. And then this piece is spray adhesive on the back of it to attach it to the wool. And then I put a little French knot in each corner, you can see, just to make sure it stays there in place. And that's how I finished that. Now these stars, I hold it, you can see, let me hold it in front of my shirt, maybe you can see that's a 3-dimensional, it sticks up. So it's hard to glue it because the center of it where you're going to glue actually sticks up off of the wood. So what I do is I take a little piece, I just took a piece of the Osnaburg, a small piece, and fold it up real small, and I glue it into the back of the star. So that fills up that space. And then I put the glue on the back of the fabric and glue it to this board. So the fabric is glued to the back of the star, and then the other side of the fabric is glued to the wood. And that's how I attach when they're 3-dimensional like that. These little tiny ones are also 3-dimensional, but they're so small, it doesn't really make, it wasn't that hard to glue them with enough glue. You just put a dab on there and it holds it because it doesn't stick up so far. But I'm really happy with that. So that again is this pattern from Lori Brecklin, Not Forgotten Farm, and it is available on her Etsy page. And my other FFO is this pattern by Homespun Elegance. I'm not sure if I was working on this last week or not, but I did this. I've gotten a couple finished this week. So I did this one for the Colorado Stitchers Cross Stitch Camp. It's hashtag Cross Stitch Camp 2023. It has to have a bird on it for June, and that one had the crow, so I put that in there. And I did change some colors on this one also. On my fabric, the color that it called for the sheep really probably wouldn't have shown up, so I didn't use that. And this is my finish for that. Here. I love this. So I have had this basket for years. For a while, I just had my threads in it for my sewing machine. It was in a Ziploc bag, and what a waste because it wasn't getting enjoyed. And then I just had it hanging up on a peg with nothing in it. This is the back of it. I got this at a thrift store years and years ago. It did not look like this. I took a watered down navy blue paint and wiped it on here, brushed it on here. So it, this part that looks light blue was actually just natural basket weaving stuff. And then the red was a little brighter. So that toned it down a lot and made it more primitive. This I glued on with hot glue. This is coffee stained after I did it. This is a mystery linen. It is 28 count, but it was gifted to me, so I don't know what it is. And I hot glued that onto the basket. And then this trim, I'm going to show you how I did that. Super easy. But there is that. And then I had all these pit berries, and they're just sitting in there. And this has a flat bottom. So, well, now that's got the blue paint on it too. But so that is that finish. And oh, this has buttons for the wheels. And then it has another one of those little metal stars that I just glued on. So I really like that. So here's how I did that trim. I used to live in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, and there's a thrift store there called Lancaster Creative Reuse, and I miss that store. I loved it so much. It's like a thrift store for crafters. Well, you could go and get these for like, 50 cents, $1. So like this one, it says on there 50 cents. So I took these three because they were kind of colors that were in it, and I put them together. And then I just twisted and twisted. And then I would hold it on around there, put a little dab of glue around and stick it on there as it was twisted. And then you just twist more, all three together. They're not braided or anything, they're just twisted. And the thing is, you're gluing them as they're twisted together so they will stay together. So super easy way to do that if you've got a bunch of scraps of yarn, which I have. That big jar right there is full of yarn, and then I have a basket full, and it's all little odds and ends from that store. So those are my FFOs. I actually do not have a whip. Oh, wait, I have one more FFO. Let me show you. This I showed you a couple weeks ago, but it wasn't framed or anything. So I took, this is a thrift store frame. Yeah, still has the dollar sticker on it. And I took that and just spray painted it with this spray paint that I use for stuff in my camper, because this is going in my camper. The only thing I don't care for is the beak. The beak is really hard, and I should have did a back stitch to outline that, but I don't think it's really going to matter. And then I also told you about this a couple weeks ago, where right here, I ended up not taking that apart, and I just decided to leave it. I think I'm the only one that would notice it. But this is going to match perfectly in my camper. And this is Little House Needleworks. That's the pattern for that one. And that is like a 5x7 frame. That was also on 28 count mystery linen. I'm not sure what kind it is. Okay, so I do not have a whip, but the next thing I'm going to be stitching is for the cross stitch camp 2023 for July, is something that grows. And take this out of the package so you can see it better. This is what I'm going to do. And I think this is probably going to be my last patriotic, because I'm getting a little tired of doing patriotic stitching. I've got a bunch that I want to do that are just every day. And I may do like a Christmas in July one. These are the threads that I've got pulled for it, which is kind of odd because it's the called for blue, and you can see it's aqua. But on here, on the picture, it looks darker. So I'm probably going to change it because I don't want it to be aqua. I want it to be the darker blue, like a country slate blue. So I'm probably going to change that one. And this is probably going to get stitched on a piece of that Swigart that I dyed today. That's why I was doing that today, so I could get that started. Another thing I'm going to start, this I did. This is punch needle embroidery. This is another thrift store basket that I spray painted it black, and then I dry brushed with the blue all the way around. You can see the bottom is still just black. And I glued that on there. That is a design by Robin at Bird in the Hand Primitives. She's on Etsy. And I did this probably a year or two ago. And I was going to make this as a picnic table centerpiece for my camper because it's too big to put inside my camper. My camper is really tiny. So, I mean, you can see it's almost, shoulder to shoulder. It's pretty big. So what I'm going to do, I think, is make some wool flowers for in here. And so I'm going to work on that. As much as I want to cross stitch, I don't want to get burnt out. I don't know if I would or not, but I've gotten burnt out from doing a lot of punch needle before. So I'm either going to do some punch needle this week or some wool applique or some wool flowers for this. But I'm thinking I want to do some wool flowers for this before the season's over of camping, and then it just sits in the closet for another year. I want to get this done, but it's so big, it's going to take a lot. But I want to work on that. So that again is on Bird and Hand Primitives on Etsy. And I got some haul. I've been shopping online. Well, some of it was free. Got some freebies here to show you. So this is in the Punch Needle Primitive Stitcher, the current 2023. This is summer 2023, so the one that just came out. I printed this one out. I don't know if I'll make it this year because I just, like I said, I'm kind of getting tired of doing the patriotic. I've done so many. And I've done them quick in a short amount of time. So I'd kind of like a break from that. But I really like this. This is designed by Rebecca Nolan of Lucy Beam. And that is in the Primitive Stitcher, Punch Needle Primitive Stitcher magazine, summer 2023. And these are the only two patterns that I printed out of that for this issue. They're the only ones that I wanted to make. I have the digital issue, so I just print out only what I want to make, and the rest stay in a file on my Google Drive. This is also a patriotic one. It is by Whitley Quimby of Sugar Maple Designs. And again, I probably won't do it this year, but I've got it printed out so I don't forget about it. And that's that design. So if you get the digital subscription, you can go back on past issues and print out for a certain amount of time going back. You can print out what you want or download the whole magazine to your computer. This is a freebie that I found. It's by Melody Gilmore. And I'm trying to think. I forget the business name. It just says Vintage Camper Love by Melody Gilmore. But I printed this out. I thought that was really cute. And it has just one color. It has it all done in 310, which I won't do it in 310, but I might do it in a turquoise or something. But I thought that was cute. And then Pinker and Pumpkin. How do you say it? Pinker and Pumpkin Quilting. And she has a blog with all of her patterns are free. So I printed this one out. This is what it's going to look like. I'm trying to get a little bit of fall in there just for when I'm ready to do fall. So that is one that is on there. It's called the Old Crow Soft Box. So here's the thing. When I print some pictures and they come out in the middle of the page like that, and I want to use it like as a pattern cover, I do fold it like this. So it's the size of a pattern cover. And then I can show you this because it's free. But I just put that inside it. And that's how I store it in my basket. So this is another one that I got from her blog. Got the turkeys. You know, there's not a lot of Thanksgiving patterns out there. But I really like this one. And it is called, and what you have to do is go on her blog and put in a search for freebie. Or this one is called Thanksgiving House. So if you, and here's how you spell her blog name. Let's see if you can see it there. That's how it's spelled. And I think this, she's on Instagram also. Let me just show you this bottom part. It's got the information on there. So if you're interested in looking for those free patterns, she has a ton. And she has soapbox houses for all year, for every season. Then also from Theresa Koke, I am a tier 2 Patreon on Theresa Koke, and I just joined, like this is my 3rd month. So each month she gives out, for tier 2 you get 1 pattern, and then tier 3 I think you get 2 patterns, and tier 4 you get 3. Plus they're doing a stitch along in tier 4 that's extra. So after the month is over, so like June 30th or July 1st, everything that was given out in those different tiers in June goes into what she calls her secret shop, and she gives us a password that's only for the Patreons, and you can go in and buy the past months different patterns. So this one was from January 2023, and it was offered to tier 2, 3, and 4, but I wasn't a member then. But it's got happy as the house that shelters a friend. Now, I don't know when I'm going to do this, but it's going to be before Christmas. And when I do this, I won't be posting it on social media because it's going to be a gift for someone that actually, she doesn't watch my floss tubes, but she actually let me stay at her house one time for 6 weeks. And I want to do this for her, and she can put it in her guest room because her and her husband just will open their house to people. And you know, I there's not a lot of people like this, but I say that they would get off their deathbed to help you if they could do something. That's just how they are. So I want to do that for them. So when I do it, I won't be posting it on social media. This one is, I saw somebody doing this, and it looks completely different when they're actually stitching, where this is just the chart. This is a Plum Street Samplers freebie. And if you go to Plum Street Samplers blog and you just type in July 4th freebie, this will come up. And like I said, it looks completely different. Very prim, very awesome when it's actually being stitched. And then for Theresa Koke, for the Patreon for this month, because I'm tier 2, this is the one I got. And it is Dear Santa, it's called. And if you look at it, he's holding floss, or the bird is flying in with floss. He has floss, and Santa has floss in his other hand. And then at the bottom, there's a thread spool and a pair of scissors. And it's just so cute. So I definitely printed that one out. And that you can get by joining Theresa Koke's Patreon. And this is, like I said, tier 2, which is $8 a month. And I think that might be it, except for the giveaways. So I'm going to do a last call for this. And this is Heartstring Samplery. It's got the Americana little scissor fob little things. And the winner of this was AG Weatherwax 1. And this is the 3rd video I've said this on. If it is not claimed by my next floss tube, I will draw another name and we will give it away to someone else. So if that is you, please get in touch with me at priviesandprims@yahoo.com, and I can mail that out to you. Everything else should have been mailed. And I finally mailed my gift the other day to someone with cancer. The box that I showed you, I think it was Share the Stitchy Love. I showed it to you a couple months ago. I finally decided who I was sending it to. And the girl, her name is Kelly, and that's all I'll say. But she still has chemo and radiation. She has breast cancer. She's young. And she still has chemo, radiation, and surgery to look forward to, or not look forward to. So I thought she could use a little pick-me-up, and I sent that to her, and I put a card in there for her to send it forward to someone when she knows someone else that is going through that. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I will put the link down below for that video where I explained all that. And like I said, it was a while ago. So I have some giveaways. Oh, let me see the winners from last week. One was a cross stitch for Mother. And thank you for all the birthday wishes for my mom. And Theresa and I want to say Chuckle, and I don't know how to say your last name, but it's Chucle. And she won this pattern, the cross stitch pattern. So Theresa, I have your address. I will mail that out to you this week. And then the other winner for the punch needle, the keyword was Santa, and this goes to Old Crow 9286. So if that is you, please get in touch with me by priviesandprims@yahoo.com or message me on Instagram, DoreenBrannon.priviesandprims, and I'll get that mailed out to you. There were a lot of people that wanted this one, so I didn't realize so many of you do punch needle. My question this week is, do you do wool applique? Because I have some patterns that I could give away for that, but I don't want to give them away if nobody's interested. So I want to know, that's my question this week is, would you be interested in the wool applique patterns? For giveaways, do you do wool applique? And then I have another punch needle giveaway. This is a PDF pattern, and that I don't think I actually ever made this one. It is by Tara Guernsey, Perfect Prim Punch. And it is Peace on Earth. So in your comment, use the word peace, P-E-A-C-E. I know there's 2 ways to spell it, so that's the way you want to put that one. And if you're interested in that punch needle pattern, use that with your comment about wool applique, put in the word peace. Oh, it does have at the bottom the size. So it tells you it's not very big, it's a small one. And at my retreat, if anybody wants to learn, or if they do punch needle already and they just need some help with it, I won't have any formal classes, but I will be glad to show anybody how to do it. If you've never done it, I will have some supplies there to show you. I'm just not doing any formal classes. And then I have a cross stitch. This is 4.5 by 6.5 by Hand Dids. And this was gifted to me to use for a giveaway. And this is Yuletide Greetings Schoolgirl Sampler. So we're going to use the word greetings. Make sure you put the S on the end so that the random comment picker will pick that up. So this is just a small one. Has the size there at the bottom. I want to give out all their information. So be sure to put the word greetings if you want to be eligible to win that one. Now, I've said this probably in almost every video. Please be a public subscriber if you're going to try to win the patterns. Because there are always people that are not public subscribers that put the keywords in and they can't be entered, they don't qualify. And because this is appreciation for people subscribing, which, by the way, I just passed my 2,500 mark, and I thank you to all of you. Thank you for bringing me to that milestone. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all the comments, all the thumbs up. I answer every comment. And again, I will put that video in my on my community tab again that shows you how to check your settings, because one of these patterns today I drew right before I started filming, and actually I couldn't even find their comment, so I don't know what happened to it, but it's just gone. So I don't think they're a public subscriber, so I had to move on and I had to pick someone else. So lucky to the person that got the second go around. But do make sure, if you're using the keyword and you're not a public subscriber, it will not get chosen. You will not get the pattern. And I'm sorry, but it's just because it's appreciation for my subscribers. And I cannot verify your subscriber if it's not public. So must be 18, must live in the United States because of the cost of shipping, and must be 18 because I have to ask for your home address. And that is it. Happy 4th, everybody. Happy stitching, and I will see you next week, Lord willing. Bye, everybody. Have a good one.
The best therapist has fur and 4 legs.